Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to No Limits Wrestling, and still to come tonight in this part, match 4 out of 5 in the best of 5 series for the Intercontinental Championship. Seth Rollins only has to win this match tonight and he becomes the Intercontinental Champion. However, Balor must win if he's to stay in the game and level it 2-2. We'll see how that tables match plays out later on tonight, but first, we have to talk about something else that is happening at Unchained. It is Kurt Angle, the Olympic gold medalist, versus the Animal, Batista. These two have been trading verbal barbs for the past couple of weeks. As we know, it started on episode 44 when Batista came face to face with Kurt Angle, and the next week they had a verbal confrontation. It was last week, however, when things became physical between the two. Kurt Angle was at ringside for a matchup between Batista and Big E Langston. Kurt Angle distracted Batista so that Big E could hit him with a steel chair, and it was Kurt Angle who looked to take advantage of that, trying to attack Batista following the match's outcome, but what he got instead was a Batista bomb for his troubles. Now that we're one episode away from Unchained, these two men came face to face in the ring for one last confrontation before the big showdown at Unchained.
I asked you out here because of what happened last week, and I wanted to ask you a question about what happened last week, Mr. Batista. What the hell was that? Seriously, you think you've gotten under my skin? Yeah, you did a little bit. You're getting under my skin because of the fact you have the audacity to challenge me. What makes you think you have that key ingredient that the other wrestlers who I've tapped out didn't have? What makes you think you're on my level and those guys were not? I've never been pinned, I've never been submitted in this company, and I don't intend to start at Unchained. I have a couple things you don't have, Batista. Number 1, the 3 eyes. Number 2, the skill needed to win an Olympic gold medal. What were you, some crappy bouncer at a nightclub? They don't hand awards out for that, do they? I'm the best wrestler on the planet. I could beat you with one arm tied behind my back. I could beat you with my eyes closed. I could beat you with a broken freaking neck. Oh, it's true. It's damn true. Batista, you know I've got your number. At Unchained, the only question that's going to be asked is how long it's going to take for me to snap your ankle in two.
Kurt Angle's confident. What's Batista got to say in his defense?
You seem confident, Kurt. I don't blame you. You've won every match you've been in. That's enough to fill anybody with confidence. It'd fill me with confidence, except I have some doubts that you're able to keep that up for so long, because the pressure of maintaining an unbeaten streak in a competitive environment like this company must be a great stress on anybody, especially somebody with the lofty status of Kurt Angle. I'm not saying you've lost it, I'm saying the time is right for you to lose it. I'm shredded, I'm 300 pounds of power, and you don't win numerous world championships throughout your career without learning a couple things. You would know that. I think, matters of fact, I know this undefeated streak is getting to your head, and I know I'm getting into your head too, Kurt. I can see it in your eyes. Last week was a taste of what's to come. When they do a career retrospective of Kurt Angle, it's gonna say beat everybody in his path until he met Batista. When I am unleashed, I will beat you at Unchained. No questions asked.
Well, he is confident, there's no doubt about it. And now, they look into each other's eyes. Batista and oh my god! And the headbutt from Angle! And the Angle slam as well. And that was uncalled for, shall we say. However, I guess it was payback from last week where Batista bombed Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle this week returns the favour, and we are only one episode away from Unchained. This is the last time they're going to be face to face before that huge matchup. Batista got a taste of his own medicine that time, but Angle is intense and focused. Well, Kurt Angle clearly wasn't taught from an early age that you don't poke an animal with a stick. Batista is coming for vengeance at Unchained against Kurt Angle. Now, let's move on to the tag team situation, and I've been having trouble explaining this for the past couple of weeks, let alone this past week on Metal. Let's just try and get back on track and explain what is happening in this crazy tag team division. Last week, Rob Van Dam and Raven faced the Lucha Dragons. When all of a sudden the Young Bucks and the Outsiders started brawling, it became even more confusing when the Young Bucks accidentally kicked Rob Van Dam in the face, costing them the matchup against the Lucha Dragons. Then this past week on Metal, Hernandez was unhappy with Kalisto losing to Rob Van Dam. The Young Bucks scored an upset victory over the Outsiders. That's left them even more pissed off, and something which both Stone Cold and the Commissioner have agreed upon is that those four teams are not in the same ring together tonight until they're scheduled to go up against each other in a tag team elimination matchup at Unchained. Right now, let's hear from the four teams in that matchup: the Young Bucks, the Lucha Dragons, the Outsiders, and Rob Van Dam and Raven the Champs.
Nick, I don't even think it has to be said that we're the best tag team on the planet, bar none. That goes for the Luchas, the Outsiders, and those two guys with our belts. You think this is our first trip to the dance? We competed all over the world, competed in Mexico, Japan, we could even compete in the Arctic. We're that popular. And it's not just about those tag team titles that you stole from us. It's about proving dominance in this wrestling industry that we love so much. Rob Van Dam and Raven are going to find out Sunday, as are the other tag teams in that matchup. It's going to be a super kick party for the ages, and it's going to be one that's just too sweet. We always go into the fight as the underdogs, and I say that's a good thing. Nobody's going to be expecting us to walk out as tag team champions. You can dismiss us as small guys. Let me tell you something. The Lucha Dragons are everything to fear. We got Rey Mysterio by our side, a Lucha Libre legend, who's going to help us in reclaiming the tag team titles that are rightfully ours. I guarantee it's going to be a good Lucha thing at Unchained. Hey Chico, you know, Nash and Hall, the Outsiders, we got a pretty good thing going here. We prove we don't need the NWO by our side to become one of the greatest tag teams on the planet. So, I got a little bit of a message for the other tag teams in that matchup. Hey yo, you think you can run with the Outsiders? You're sorely mistaken. Let's see how much you got when you cross the paths of Hall and Nash, the deadliest tag team on the planet. Well, hold on a minute, guys. Why don't you just chill out just a little bit? Hey, you're all great tag teams, there's no doubt about it, but, you know, you're not on Rob Van Dam's level, but in fact, nobody's on Rob Van Dam's level, except my man Raven, of course. We're the tag team champions for a reason. I fully intend of getting high on that top rope and blazing a trail for future tag teams to replicate. You know, competition's a sweet, sweet drug, and when Rob Van Dam and Raven get done with you guys, don't worry, you're not losers, you're just like everybody else, not on our level, don't worry about it. I'm looking forward to Sunday, guys. We'll see what you got, because we are the whole effing show. It's going to be a tag team elimination matchup for the tag team championships at Unchained. You've got that to look forward to. And coming up next is the tables matchup, match 4 out of 5 in the best of 5 series for the Intercontinental Championship. Finn Balor going up against Seth Rollins. Let's recap the first 3 matches in this series. Episode 45, the first matchup, Rollins pins Balor with his feet on the ropes just a few days before he costs him his shot at the world title, which meant that Balor had to give up his Intercontinental Championship. That meant that match 1 was in the record books. Match number 2 occurred last week, episode 46. It was a submission matchup which Balor won with the Dragon Sleeper. Match number 3, with it 1-1, was a no disqualification matchup ending with a powerbomb through a table and a curb stomp through a chair. Seth Rollins tonight is up 2-1. Balor must win if he wants to stay in the game to make it 2-2. Otherwise, if Rollins wins, it's 3-1 and therefore he wins the series and the Intercontinental Championship tonight. Who's becoming Intercontinental Champion? Let's find out now. And you've got to say that there's no way that Finn Balor is 100% here tonight, especially after what he went through this past week on Metal. But Seth Rollins is in the ring, and this matchup is not about pinfalls or submissions. The only way to win this contest is to put your opponent through a table, and here comes the demon. Finn Balor with that table in hand. That's the name of the game. He throws that table at Seth Rollins, and this table's matchup is on the way. Balor springs in with that DDT. And as we know, unlike their previous encounters, no pinfalls or submissions. Only way to win is to put your opponent through a table. That's what Rollins did this past week on Metal. And that's what led to him defeating Finn Balor with that curb stomp through a chair. And if Balor wins here tonight, then he will tie the game. However, if Rollins wins, it's all over and Rollins becomes Intercontinental Champion. And look at Rollins reverse that one and plants his face into that wood. Oh my, going for the same move he went on Metal with that powerbomb through the table, but instead Balor rolls through with the stomp. And Rollins
still suffering the effects of those feet to the face, and Balor gets another table out. There's one in the ring already, and Balor sets one up here at the announce table. And Rollins out here with a vicious clothesline. And picks him up again, looking to wear him down, and again, that catapult into the post and a vicious kick to the skull. Rollins has Balor right where he wants him. Balor not 100% after this past week. That no disqualification matchup taking a lot out of him. And Rollins knows this. He's going to look to end it early. Suicide dive through the table, but Balor was not there. Suicide dive, nobody home. And you've got to put your opponent through a table, not get put through a table like Rollins did there. And this tables matchup will continue after this.
This city needs a hero. Who will come to the citizens' aid? Is the bird? Is the plane? No. It's the new sensation. The man that gravity forgot. He is simply death-defying. It's Neville, and he's here to save us.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This tables matchup in progress. Balor versus Rollins. Rollins, if he wins, will become Intercontinental Champion, but Finn Balor crashes and burns through that table, and this is a tables matchup. However, you actually have to be physically put through the table, so that time Balor did not lose, but he is very close. Balor with that sling blade connected to him by Rollins. And now Rollins back up, and those discarded bits of table come crashing into the face of Balor. If Balor wins, it's a tie. However, if Rollins wins, he becomes champion. He's getting ever closer now. There's that buckle suplex. Now stomping his head into the turnbuckle. And this is the viciousness that was on display this past week in that no disqualification matchup on Metal. That's why he won it. And he's displaying that same kind of violent nature that he used to win, but right now sends the table in the ring. But Balor with a kick, tries to send him over, but Rollins leaps him. Oh my! And right on his neck as well, that German suplex onto the wooden table. And not only is that going to be painful for Balor, but it's also going to weaken that table, so it's going to be easier for him to put Balor through. But Balor not going to go down without a fight. Comes back with a Hurricane Rana over that table. That's just pure athleticism, and Balor measures him, goes for the dropkick, misses. Rollins goes for a kick and connects on the side of the forehead. And now on that table, may want to go for a DDT through it. But being backdropped, but lands on his feet. Balor now runs to the top rope maybe. Wants to send him away. Rollins look for the suplex through the table. But he gets headbutted down. And the coup de grace. Balor with the coup de grace. It's two apiece, and this matchup will go to a fifth fight. Rollins stunned. But that's the nature of these tables matches. They can end out of nowhere like that. And Rollins just gets stomped in the sternum right through the wood with such forcefulness. We'll take a look at how this ended. Rollins looked to put it away with a DDT on that table. Got backdropped away. He went after Balor, who was on the top rope, got headbutted down, and then Balor almost immediately afterwards connects with that coup de grace, that double foot stomp through the table. And that's a lot of weight, comes crashing through your sternum to break that table. And he did it. This matchup's going to a fifth fight.
Hey, that was one heck of a match there. You know, I've watched you two over the past couple of weeks, and the respect that I have for you two has gone through the roof. You've been pushing each other to new limits. But now that we're two apiece, seems we need something to settle this, a tiebreaker if you will. Now the Intercontinental Championship, as it is vacated. So how's about match 5 in this series? We take that Intercontinental title, hang it high above the ring, and make it a ladder match at Unchained. You two will fight it out to see who's climbing that ladder and who is taking down that Intercontinental title. And that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so.
Well, the Sheriff, Steve Austin, making a huge new matchup for Unchained. It's 2 apiece in this best of 5 series, and match number 5 for the vacated Intercontinental Championship will be a ladder match at Unchained. I cannot wait for that one, and I also can't wait for next, and it's gonna be for the X Division Championship. Daniel Bryan gets his rematch finally. Adam Cole puts the title on the line against the American Dragon, and just 1 episode away from Unchained in the Elimination Chamber, it's a 6-man tag. Lesnar, Galloway and Hardy versus Punk, Styles and Michaels. That is our main event up next.